Well, party people, welcome back to Unpopular Opinion with Shafi and Pals. Holy cow, you can see I got a bunch of pals with me today. It's going to be a really good week. I can feel the love in the room. Little slice of nature has come from the state of Oregon to put Shafi in his place. We would like to welcome to the show a good friend, listener, and fellow YouTuber, Fern in the Wild.
Oh, thank you so much.
Fern's here.
Welcome.
I can't believe it. We've been talking about this all week long. Jenny G, the lovely co-host of Shafi and Pals, Shafi Unpop, has not stopped talking about you.
I have been so excited ever since you started talking about you and telling me about you're doing the PCTA. I'm like, oh my God, that's so exciting.
Which I want to point out is it's the Pacific Crest Trail. And earlier we were doing the pre-show and Fern put me in my place a little bit. And I'm not ashamed to admit that. This is why we do the podcast. I'm not always right.
That's okay. You're just a city boy.
I am. I'm a city slicker, which you know what the actual, there's a word for that. You know what it is? Dude. Look up the definition of the word dude. It means a person from the city, a city slicker. That's why they'd be like, hey, what are you doing, dude? Because you could just tell out of place. In Back to the Future 3, when he calls Marty McFly dude, Mad Dog Tannen, he calls him dude.
Yeah.
And that's because he's a city slicker. You can tell just by looking at him. He had his Nikes on. So
you are a dude.
I am a super dude, and it's been a cool couple of weeks being a dude. Jenny G's had a couple weeks off. Jenny, how was your time off?
It was good but stressful too.
Fair enough.
So
did you went to the ocean?
I did. That was the fun part actually.
That was the
Went
fun
and spent
part.
Some family time.
Yeah.
My niece just turned 21.
Holy cow.
Yes, and then I had another nephew turn 10.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's good times.
That was good times.
That's that, and then going out to and seeing, this is like right on par for us having Fern here today, because we're talking about nature.
Yes.
Right. And the great indoors, because I'm a dude and you love the great outdoors, and you can go both ways. It sounds like,
Yes.
Gonna hit the I'm getting in trouble today. I had a huge life change, as everybody and fans of the show know that I was picking up those extra shifts as a garbage man at night, right? And I was carrying the trash. I didn't want to burn that bridge. I did stop doing that. I put in my notice, and it was just terrible on my knees and my ankles and et cetera, et cetera. And I mean, let's be real, it was carrying the trash. So I stopped doing that, and I picked up driving for, I guess I can say it, Uber Eats, right? And now I'm driving the little electric car everywhere and picking up food. And there's actually something really funny happened. It was one of my first deliveries, and I was getting a little bit ahead of myself. It was starting to get dark. I couldn't really see. I had 2 bags full of McDonald's. And McDonald's is, when you do deliveries for them, they actually do something that's kind of nice that I wish everybody did. They put all of the drinks in a carrier, and they put it in a bag, and they seal the bag, and it has handles, so you're not carrying the drinks and they're getting all over the place. And I was going up the stairs. I was getting ready to be like, man, I'm going to ace this delivery. I'm going to get this big tip. And I tripped, and everything just kind of slowed down. And I'm like, oh no. And I'm like, I saw my life and the McDonald's flash before my eyes. And at the last minute, I caught myself, and nothing, I didn't fall.
You didn't fall?
No, but I looked, and over yonder, there was this little squirrel in this tree, and it was watching me. And it was like, damn, I wanted some fries.
Oh my God, I love that. I love
Like,
it.
He was waiting.
Just waiting for you to fall.
He just wanted me to drop some fries. But I had my hands full, didn't. And then I did get a tip. And here's the funny thing. There was a Ring camera, and they absolutely saw this. And I'm like, I'm about to be TikTok famous. Because, like, you know, that's like, I scroll through them. That's my algorithm.
Yeah. You're going to be the next reel.
I'm going to be the next reel. The next hit is like, watch the Uber guy. I wonder if that guy's got a podcast. But look, then the squirrel saw it, and the squirrel ran off into the woods, which, before we get into why the woods are actually a horror movie set, okay?
Blair Witch Projects.
Seriously, I want to remind the fans and the listeners and everybody that, look, this is a comedy fiction podcast. The views expressed by Shafi and his pals are for entertainment purposes only and do not reflect the views or positions of our employers. Please don't fire us. We're just being ridiculous. Let's hit that catchy theme song.
Unpopular opinion, that's the name of the show. Hosted by Shafi and some pals that he knows. We'll have a heart-to-heart, so tune in and subscribe. It's unpopular opinion and a hell of a vibe. Love it or dislike it, it's all just the same. Because unpopular opinion is there in the name.
Ow! That's so much fun.
I love that song.
That's great.
Fern was getting down.
I'm here to vibe.
There is a vibe.
Yes, most definitely.
We've recently upgraded the Shoffice studio, and Fern brought us a little gift that is featured. I'm pointing at here like people can see. Yeah. So remember, Shafi Unpop fans, Fern is the one that made me this little rhino derp. It's like my favorite rhino in the whole world. And then she made us a little mushroom derp, and it has a little pot.
That is the cutest thing ever.
Oh,
I love
thank
that.
you.
I
So
love it.
we appreciate that.
Yes.
And Fern, let me tell you, we're so excited to have you here.
Well, thank you.
I'm proud to have an actual nature professional in the Shoffice studios. And as a lot of people know, when we do these episodes and we bring on a pal, or an expert or a guest, etc., I like to, show off the memory and remind you or the people who are listening how we met. And so I'm going to throw something out there, and you tell me if I'm spot on or if I'm off. So I know for a fact that you and I have been in the same vicinity of each other, dating all the way back to late 2007.
Correct.
Okay, I'm on the right track.
Yes.
And I know that because I worked at a Chevy dealership with your brother.
Yes.
Okay. And we'll give a couple shout outs to them here in a second. And then there was another time that we were in the same vicinity that your father and your brother and you went to the Best Buy, which I also worked at the same time I was working at the Chevy deal. What's with Shafi and having multiple jobs?
Yes.
Hey,
yes.
hardworking dude.
That was
money driven.
well, I think it was just necessity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I got a real bad Nintendo addiction,
Yeah.
and that's part of it. But I remember you guys showing up at the Best Buy, and your dad and your brother were asking me questions about what computer to get, and I made a recommendation. I was like, look, if you want something that's just going to perform, because for what you guys are trying to do, get this Mac. Like that is what it is. And your dad just, okay, that's what we'll do, and he bought the Mac. So we were in the same vicinity. Nobody introduced us. Nobody said, hey, this is Fern, hey, this is Shafi, et cetera, but we were in the same vicinity. The time that we actually were handshake introduced was August 2nd of 2013. And I know this is right around 1 or 2 p.m. because I used to manage a band, and our band was going to play and did play successfully your brother's wedding the next day, which is August 3rd of 2013.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're on the right track.
I love that.
Why do I remember the time? Because nobody from the band showed up. I had to haul all of this gear and load it into this trailer, and they were like, oh, we're all at work or we're all doing this. No, they were not. They were somewhere else, and they just weren't helping Shafi load the van. And you guys were going to help us get all the gear down there, etc. Shout out to the lovely bride and groom of that wedding. That was that's 15, 16 years ago, 17 years ago. Shout out to them. So Alina is a listener of the show. I guarantee she's super surprised right now. And I'm not, their middle names and their last names are redacted, but she's a listener. And your brother, Justin, JD, we love you guys. Shout out to Alina and JD. So thank you so much for being a listener. How did I get your sister on here? I asked her very nicely, and she was in town from Oregon. So you're out here, and so you do agree that's how we met.
Yes, and very thorough. Good job.
Well, and it's the memory. It's a curse. It's a burden. It's just crazy. I just remember all of that stuff. It's all a picture in the Rolodex. It's just going.
And I have to admit, I don't remember much from their wedding, so I'm glad you remember a little
We
bit.
were tanked. Oh my gosh.
Lord, that was fun.
That was
I
such a
love it.
fun wedding. So the older folks came up and they're like, it's too damn loud. We got a rock and roll band. They hired us, and we were rocking and
Rocking it
rolling.
out?
In a
We were-
Grange. in a tiny little
in a
Grange.
tiny little Grange. I'll show you pictures. And so we were rocking out, like, and I asked Justin, I was like, hey, buddy, like, can we sell merch at your wedding? And he was like, dude, I want you guys to set it up just like it's a rock show that we're showing up to. And I was like,
That's
so
amazing.
we sold out. We sold all the
the
t-shirts,
merch?
all the CDs, all the stickers that we had. We sold everything. It was incredible. It was a hit. He let us put our giant sign, which is now in my garage, hanging up on the wall.
Oh, I
And-
gotta go
Love that.
see that.
That's
It's
amazing.
it's out there. And so it was just this crazy thing. And so we got to put on a rock show, but the older folks were like, it's too dang loud. So we had a secret weapon. His name was Matt. He was one of the members of the band. And Matt is a musical encyclopedia, and he's a really good singer, and he plays acoustic guitar. He was featured on our keyboards at the time, and I think he was playing a little acoustic with us, but he popped out the acoustic guitar, and for the first hour, we had Matt just sing any song. And people were coming up and making requests, and he's like, I know that. In fact, I named my firstborn after that song. And he was like, and then the old people were dancing, etc. And then JD was like, it's time to kick these old people out. And I was like, yo, they're saying it's too loud. He goes, I don't care. It's my wedding. And I was like, dude, he was awesome. And so I was like, well, we're going to appease them. Don't worry. We have a backup. And so he did that, and then the first hour, and then they all shuffled out, and we brought the house
I love
down.
that.
Oh,
I
it
love
was
And
that.
it
so
was
much fun.
Such a fun time. So
Oh.
shout out to Alina and JD. We love you guys. But I don't want to get too far off track. You're out here planning a walk from Mexico to Canada on the Pacific Crest Trail. And I kept calling it the Pacific Coast Trail because I literally thought it was out on the coast. And you brought it to our attention that it actually goes up the Cascade Range. It's the crest.
Yes, very common mistake though. A lot of people call it the Pacific Coast Trail, but yeah,
Yeah.
PCT, Pacific Crest Trail.
Pacific
Yes.
Crest Trail. And so you're going to walk from Mexico to Canada. And you call it a life goal, which is incredible. I call it absolutely terrifying. And I want to get into our backstory or your backstory and where we can follow your social media accounts. And I'm sure we're going to have some good banter regarding our talking points. But I want to jump in to this week's unpopular opinion. So let's get that out of the way. Unpopular opinion: solo hiking is terrifying. Fern, agree or disagree?
Disagree.
Jenny G?
I'm like partial because like it's terrifying, but I feel like it's intriguing too. So I
Right.
wouldn't.
So you're on the fence.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So this is
Yes.
what this show, the Shoffice is
The
all
Shoffice.
about, right? The Shoffy Unpop. So I'm a hard no for me, dog. You're a hard yes for me. Send him to Hollywood, and you're on the fence. So what she's going to do is she's going to either make me jump on her side
Yeah.
or you jump on my side.
Yeah. Definitely. I think I'll be more on her side.
Fair enough.
We'll
I-
see.
We'll see.
I'm pretty sure that when it's all said and done, I'm going to probably lean that way already
Yeah.
because just kind of talking and she brought her notes and her facts and she's
Yes.
ready. Way to have a prepared guest, a prepared pal. Shout out to Fern. Wowza.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So can you really fast just help our listeners understand more about your nature credentials? And we don't need the full resume. Give us what you want, maybe just the highlights, but can you kind of tell us why I brought you on as a professional here?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I am going to have to give you some of my resume. 'cause
Sure.
That's about half of my outdoors experience. But, I did start out, I was born in rural Oregon, right on the base of Mount Hood. So I come from the forest.
Oh, yeah.
After that, I lived out by Olympic National Park for a while. So again, to the forest. So it's just something that I grew up with. I'm very comfortable with. And then after that, I went to Boy Scouts with my brother every chance I could get. I just grew up hiking and loving nature, and it eventually turned into a career of mine. But it didn't start, quickly. It just kind of gained that way.
Sure.
Unfortunately, after my dad passed away in
Rest in peace, yeah.
2017, thank you. I didn't know how to deal with a lot of that grief, so I found a tremendous amount of just strength in hiking.
Right.
So that's when my hiking career really took off, and that's when I started solo hiking. And after that, I started college for my natural resources degree, and just started from there. I started as a park worker, working at
Mhm.
a small park in Oregon. Worked my way up to a park ranger, where I
Wow.
was working at Oxbow Park there in the forest. And from there, I worked with invasive species, doing land management management,
Right.
restoring habitats. And I've just kind of continued my education and my career. I was a horticulturist in Tulsa, Oklahoma for about a year.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, just being out in nature, working with it, having appreciation for it.
Right.
It gives you not only experience but comfort and knowledge, which just makes you feel better, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
When you're, and thank you for sharing that. And yeah, absolutely. Being a person of the forest, when you said that, I'm not going to lie, the way that my brain works is that I immediately saw Robin Williams from Jumanji when he comes back.
Yes.
Right.
I'll have
And
to
he's,
send you some of my
Yeah.
childhood pictures.
is that what you look like? You're just like a person
Yeah.
of the, you're covered in like a moss vest and
Well,
you have
yeah, we were-
like ferns for a hat.
My brother and I might have been a little bit of little
feral kids.
Yeah.
It
I-
like cleanses your soul.
Oh,
Yes,
for
it
sure.
really does.
For
Yes.
sure. I have a funny story about your brother. I kind of have to say it. This is really funny. So he spent a lot of time in Forks, Washington. We're just going to say it. And anybody that you know that is from Forks are anti-Twilight.
I
Like,
knew
Oh,
you were
yeah.
gonna bring this up.
I have to
Yes.
bring this up. And so we threw a costume party for Halloween. And this was shout out to Randy. We love you. Randy and Trish. They are listeners of the show. Shout out to them. Thanks for throwing that party. This was like 2011, maybe 2008, 2009, 2010, somewhere around there, right? And they threw a Halloween costume party, and your brother shows up as a vampire hunter.
I helped him make that costume.
This is
I love that.
great. And so he's got an actual Forks High School hoodie, an actual Forks High School hoodie. And he's got like vampires and like Twilight X'd out or whatever, right? And he's got all these like these crucifixes that are like sharpened.
Yeah.
And they were upside down crosses.
Of
It's
course,
very important.
Very important, right? Yep, absolutely. And it was like actually a really cool costume. I have pictures, but it was like shout out. I was like, dude, this is crazy. But he grew up in Forks, or he spent a lot of time there, and it was just, he was so anti-Twilight. If you ever listen to him go on one of the rants, he's like, they didn't even film it at the real school, and the only thing that they filmed that's real is the Forks sign, and they weren't even in Forks when they filmed it. They were outside because they couldn't film there. He knows a lot about
He's
it.
spitting
Yeah.
facts, though. He's
He-
spitting facts.
Yo, he was spitting all the facts, which is
I
true.
love that.
And here's the thing, I was like, it's a movie, bro,
Yes.
and I love them,
Yes.
and I'm
Yeah.
Team Edward, so it is
But
what it is.
You're
But
also a dude. We come from rural tourist,
right,
tourist towns.
100%. I'm a city slicker. I'm a
Dude.
dude for
You're a
sure.
Dude.
So I can already tell this is going to be fun, but let me give you my talking points. Every episode, we give 3 talking points, and you and the other listeners get to decide if I'm right or if I'm full of shit. Is that fair?
Fair.
Okay. So my unpopular opinion is that solo hiking is terrifying. And my first talking point is the suspicious silence. The whole concept is that in the city, which I'm from, noise means life. In the woods, silence means something is watching you. So, Fern, you say the woods are peaceful. I say they're stealthy. When the birds stop chirping, that's nature's way of saying, clear the stage. The mountain lion is about to make its entrance. And it's a 2,000-mile game of hide and seek where I'm the only one hiding and the grizzly is definitely seeking. So I have a question. Have you run in with animals on your hikes, and what can you tell us about preparing us for the inevitable?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I fortunately have not had any run-ins with wild animals. I've seen grizzly bears at Glacier, and I've seen black bears up on like Rainier, but never any close contact, never anything dangerous. But I do have a fun story of a time where I thought I was going to be eaten by a bear.
Yikes. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my.
Oh So yeah, my first time ever camping by myself. I was up by Mount Rainier. It was raining and dreary, and I was kind of scared and miserable in my tent, and I just kept hearing this noise, and it's coming from all sides of me. And all I could think of was there was a bear running around my tent up and down the riverbank, just grunting. And I'm freaking out. I got my
Right.
flashlight and I'm pointing it out the tent, like I don't know what to do. And I ended up getting restless sleep that night. My friend actually joined me the next day. That was kind of my trial camping.
Right.
My friend joined me the next day, and the same thing happened, but it was bullfrogs.
Oh my god! So
that's
my
what we gotta
first
do.
thought,
Yeah.
I would have thought Sasquatch. Like
Just-
that's what I would have went. Like
Of
that's my
course.
first thought.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
when she was there, I wasn't scared, and I
Yeah.
knew instantly it was a bullfrog. It was like many bullfrogs on the riverbed.
But when you were
Oh my
by
God,
yourself,
that is
I'm by
look,
myself.
the
Oh my
silence
that's
is
amazing.
stealthy, and then
You
when that
know?
stuff
Yeah.
happens,
It
so
Yeah.
was quite scary. So I thought I was going to be eaten by a bear that day.
You're like, just kidding. It was frogs.
Yeah, so that is my bear toad story.
That is
wow, the
great.
bear
I love
toad,
that.
yeah,
I
bear
love
toad,
Yeah.
bear toad.
But you do bring up some very, very important points there, though. Since I have not had any run-ins with animals, I do know what to do in case you do have a run-in with an animal.
Right? Can you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit more about that,
Yeah, so I think
please?
the main thing people think about is bear.
Mhm.
So there's two bear, black bear and brown bear,
Mm.
and
Right.
there's two different ways to deal with these bear. Always have your bear spray, for
Right.
sure. Know how to use that. Know that it is to mace the bear, not to spray around your
Yeah.
campsite.
Right.
So that's the most important thing is be prepared.
Right.
Know where you're going. Know if there's going to be bear there. And if there's going to be black bear, you're going to want to fight back if they charge you.
Oh,
I know, it sounds crazy.
holy
I
cow!
was
I'm
It
gonna hit
sounds
the.
crazy.
Well, because I was always in the
Whoa.
impression you're supposed to play dead.
That's the brown bear, grizzly bears.
Oh, gotcha.
Grizzly
Right.
bears, you play dead.
Okay.
And they're territorial, so they're just like, okay, they're
Oh.
done. They're gone. They're
Wow.
not a threat. And then they leave most
Yeah.
of the time. Most of
Right.
the time. This is all caveats here. But yeah, black bear, you're going to want to fight back and you're going to want to stand your ground, look big, look
Right.
mighty.
Take your
grab
jacket
sticks.
right and put your
Yeah,
jacket
put
up
your
and
jacket up, grab
Right.
sticks and branches because they don't want to fight you. That takes energy, that takes
Right.
strength that they need to
Oh.
survive.
Oh,
So
Wow.
they don't
okay.
want to fight you, but they will. They
right.
will.
Okay, so
Holy
the
cow.
difference is you want to terrify them.
Yeah, you want to show them that you are going to fight back and they don't want to expel that energy. They'll usually leave. Yeah,
You know
so-
what's crazy is that the average cis white male thinks that he can take a bear.
I mean, some of these black bears are maybe a couple 100 pounds.
Right, the little one, but no,
Yeah.
they think they can beat up a grizzly bear.
No, no,
yeah.
no. They've never
We know
seen
the type.
one.
We talk about them all the time. You fucking
Yeah.
jamokes. Go ahead. Go on. Sorry. This is a different
So-
podcast for a different day.
I do think that's the most important thing. Black bear,
Right.
you're going to want to try and look big and fight back.
Okay.
And then a brown bear or grizzly bear, you're going to want to play dead or
Okay.
use your bear spray before any of this. But
Yeah.
those are the most important things. And the second one, of course, everyone's worried about is cougars.
Right. So that's what I am absolutely terrifying because I feel, and this is just for me, I feel like I can hear and see a big cumbersome black bear or a grizzly or brown bear coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
A mountain lion a cat of any type.
Mhm.
I wouldn't know if there was one in this room right now
Yeah.
because they are
Oh,
stealthy as F, like
Yeah.
seriously. So yeah, tell us a little bit about that because that's what terrifies me, and that's why I don't really want to go out there solo.
Yeah, so like you were saying, most of the time people will pass by mountain lions. They won't even know it. I've probably passed by, a dozen at least on
Right,
my trails, and
Right,
I've never noticed them. But when they have babies or when they're extremely
Right.
stressed or hungry, like starving,
right.
when there's like wildfires and they are out of their habitat and starving, they could be dangerous. But it's kind of like the bears, you want to look really big, you want to look strong and intimidating,
right.
because they don't want to expel that energy to fight you. They don't want
Right.
to do that. But it's something if they feel like they have to do, they will.
Right,
So you want to look big, you want to look strong, and you don't want to run. Number one, do not run.
right.
If anyone knows cats, they will chase you.
Yeah. You always want to be facing them, right? So if you
Yep, look them in the eyes.
okay,
You want to look them in the eyes, face them, back away slowly,
right,
and look big. Say, no, I'm here. Be loud.
right,
And unless they have kittens that you are walking towards, they will usually be hurting you away from
right,
them.
right. Trying to get them away.
Yes.
Does bear spray work on a mountain lion?
That's a great question. I don't believe so.
Right.
It would probably do something,
Right.
but
Because I'd assume it would be nasty for them. Like they would not like it.
I would assume so. But bears'
Okay.
senses are much stronger.
Right. They can smell from miles, right?
Yeah.
That's
So
incredible.
what is what would you do for the cougars then?
you look big.
Same thing.
Yeah, you look big, look them straight in the eye, you yell, you scream. If you can, throw rocks. Don't bend down unless you have to. If you bend down, they could take that as an opportunity. So you want to look big, back away, look them in the eye, and just say, nope, I'm out of here. Goodbye.
I actually did watch a video, and there was a gentleman, and he was just screaming at it, go away, go away, go away. And then it did it. Like
the guy on the trail.
He just kept turning around and go away, and then it just kept walking, creeping, but it stopped, walk, creep. But then it finally just stopped following him.
Yeah, and that's him escorting him out of his territory.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You know how you stop a cougar from charging?
Hmm.
You take away her credit card. Oh, baby. At least that's what we used to do at the bar. Yeah, I'm a schmuck. So anyway.
I love it.
So that's my advice. The most basic advice I can give for animals.
That's actually really good
Yeah.
advice. I didn't really know all of that about, well, definitely not about the bear. And because I'm so terrified of a mountain lion or a cougar or a puma or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
even the little lynxes, those things are scary. It's a cat with big claws that will eat you and bite you. And like, if our home cats had a chance, they would eat you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's scary.
Cats, they're the ultimate predator.
Yeah. And they're
Even
just,
house cats are attack you.
yeah.
Yes.
And they're so stealthy and just fast and amazing. It's like, man, it's incredible. So that actually gives me a little bit more peace of mind. I feel well equipped. I mean, I would still crap myself. I wouldn't know what to do.
Likewise.
And, yeah.
Likewise. If I was put in this situation, you know, I've thought about it and studied it so much. I feel like I hope that it would come straight to my mind what to do, but nobody knows unless you're in that situation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You also carry like a bear bell. Is that?
No, bear bells, they're kind of more of a tourist trap thing.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, you just want to be loud. If like I don't go to Glacier by myself.
Right.
I go with my friend who is a local.
Okay.
And we just talk. We step loudly.
Yeah.
You know, break branches on the trail. And,
You announce your presence.
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
sneak up on a grizzly bear, they don't like it. But if they know
Right.
that you're coming, they'll usually move on.
Yeah. They're like, okay,
okay.
something's coming. I
Yeah.
don't want to be.
And
Yeah.
they know people. They're like, ugh, people.
Right. And so that was kind of another thing. I knew that like having you on the show, you're going to kind of point out the fact that they don't want to be around you as much as I don't want to be around them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, right. That bear wants me to come and
Yeah.
eat me. Like that bear specifically wants me. It'll leave you guys alone, but it wants me.
I think he wants your s'mores more than you.
I love s'mores.
Yeah, he wants your s'mores more than you.
You've been listening to my Girl Scout cookie episodes. I hate them
Yes.
all. Oh, I got a guy. He's like, yo, I still got a little bit left if you need some. I'm like, yeah.
Hook
But
it up.
it's actually a segue because it's not just the animals that can hurt you out there, right? It's dangerous. And this is a good segue to my second talking point that if the animals don't get you, the literal earth under your feet is actively trying to throw you off. So my second talking point is the no handrail policy, right? The lack of safety infrastructure in the wilderness is a massive design flaw. So we live in a world of building codes and OSHA requirements, but you get on a trail and suddenly it's just a 6-inch ledge of loose gravel over a 500-foot drop. Why? Because the view is better? I can see the same view on Google Earth from my recliner without wondering if a damp root is going to be my final resting place. Nature has zero litigious fear, and that's a problem for me. So Fern, I know you've been in some of these situations before because you've been on hundreds to thousands of hikes, right? So tell us about a time that you might have gotten hurt, and I'm not trying to make fun of it or anything. I just, for the listeners, or a time that you had a close call.
Yeah, well, hearing about people's experiences is definitely a great way to learn.
Right, right.
Again, I am lucky enough not to have had any major injuries while hiking.
We'll knock on wood. Yeah, everybody's knocking on wood for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, luckily I have been trained in search and rescue and wilderness first aid just from my work and my schooling.
Yes.
So I do have that under my belt. But I do have a fun story about a time I almost fell off a waterfall.
Holy cow. Wow. Tell us everything.
I
Yeah.
love that.
So
There I was.
It was 2020.
Oh, yeah. You're doing what I do.
Yeah, I'm trying. No, but for real, I don't remember what year it was. It was very early on in my hiking experience.
Sure.
And it was the first time I believe I went to the Columbia River Gorge by myself in the winter.
Yeah.
And I was all about taking pictures of these beautiful frozen waterfalls and the icicles and the snow. And I was not prepared. I didn't have trekking poles. I didn't have spikes. I didn't even have coils. Like I just
Yeah.
had my boots. So I was headed up this very steep part of the trail, and I just started sliding. Just started sliding backwards.
Wow.
Yeah, right on the ice. It was so slick. And it got to the point where I was sliding down towards the waterfall, which
Wow.
was behind me. And I didn't know what to do. I ended up just getting on my belly and trying to put as much surface area on the ground as possible to try and stop. I was
Right.
flailing, grabbing for shrubs and whatever I could grab. And luckily, I did end up grabbing a bunch of shrubs. Did stop my fall down the ravine.
Wow. Right.
Luckily, there was a tiny little bit of shrubs between the trail and death.
Right.
But after that, I really had to assess what I was doing and how to be prepared. That was a big wake up call for me personally.
Right.
Yeah.
When you're going through that, it sounds like, I mean, to me, you handled it a lot more calm, but what was going through your mind? Was it calm or was it chaos?
It was definitely chaos. I attribute it to a slow motion car accident that
Yeah.
you're just seeing happening, and you're just like,
Wow.
no, 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 no. But luckily, the crash never happened.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a close
right.
call, but yeah, it was just kind of me thinking about how I was sliding towards a waterfall.
Yeah. To imminent death.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's probably a good
Whew.
100-foot waterfall. So
Yikes. Hey.
And
don't-
that's when you discovered the spike shoes.
yes, that is when I bought my first
question.
pair of spikes.
Yeah. You're right. Now she's got
Yeah.
them now. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes, now I have crampons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
One.
because those are the ones that go around the shoe, right?
Yes,
that you
and
can
they
take
have
off.
the big spikes. The big spikes.
Oh,
on
the
them.
big
Yeah, not
spikes.
just like little micro spikes.
Oh, and a point that just hit my head is I saw this on one of your videos. You were talking about wearing your spikes, and you said don't wear them on unless you need them
Yes.
because
Oh.
you'll wear them, they'll get dull,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And I assume that's because they'll become less effective.
Yeah, you want them to be pretty sharp. So if you get to a point on the trail where it becomes muddy or dirty and there's rocks and stuff, if you bend the spike or you dull them up, they're not going to do their job. So you want
Right.
to take care of your equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so those type you want to make sure that you're actually like in ice.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. On one of my videos, I ended up. Oh, I didn't do a counter. I really wanted to, but I ended up putting them on and taking them off. I mean, at least a dozen times.
Oh.
Right. On and off, on and off.
I made
Yeah.
a little joke about it in the video. I was like, "Oh, I wonder how long these are going to stay on for."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
long.
But it's incredible being prepared, and that really is actually a good, because now we're talking about the gear that's involved, right?
Mhm.
And because in order to stay upright, you now have to fight with this gear paradox. And so that's a good segue to talking point 3, the survival gear myth. So if you need that much equipment to survive a walk, and this is kind of the way I look at it, I probably shouldn't be taking that walk. Fern, you've got a backpack that costs more than my first car. And you did a whole episode that you unpacked your backpack and showed us everything that was in it. And you've got lightweight titanium sporks. You got water filters that can turn swamp water into Voss water. And for me, if I need a NASA grade life support system just to go for a stroll, that's not a hobby, that's a mission to Mars. So if the environment is so hostile that I need to carry my own house on my back, I'm taking the hint that I don't belong there. You had a whole episode, like I was saying, where you unpacked everything, and it opened my eyes to how unprepared I am. I think I have a knife, a granola bar in my pack, and that's what I have, and that's about it. Can you tell us some of the most essential items that you carry and absolute must-haves for any hike?
Absolutely, and might I say that's a great start. A backpack, a granola bar, and a knife.
Hey,
Fantastic.
Shafi's got something. I'm going to get the little, Shafi's doing
Ready for a
something.
hike.
It's
Yeah.
more than I see some people with.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, but as far as gear, I think it really comes down to kind of a weight of whether you want to be comfortable or if you're putting on more miles.
Oh, right.
Yes, because if you want to be comfortable and have everything that you could ever want in a chair and, the fluffiest pillow, it's going to be very heavy. And
Right.
You're not going to be able to put in the miles.
Yeah, that
So,
makes sense.
If you spend all this money on very lightweight items, you don't need as much as you think. So when you get a little experience and you get out there, you're like, I haven't touched this thing. Like, I'm not bringing it next
Why
time.
would we
Yeah.
bring it?
Yeah, so
It's-
you really whittle out your gear, you get experience, and unfortunately, you spend a lot of money on lightweight items. And as a small person,
Right.
I'm trying to put in 20 miles a day at least. And
Wow.
I need to carry, probably 25 pounds.
I was going to say, I think the typical pound is like 25 pounds. For
Yeah.
a pound
It's about
bag.
25.
Yeah.
And then with food and water, it'll be a little bit more. So
It would be intense. I would overpack every time. I just know because I want to be overly prepared, and I would
Yeah.
have a kettle and a pot and a this and that and everything, and my rollerblades, and because I just never know if I'm gonna need it, and I would have 20 pairs of frickin' socks and 20 pairs of underwear, and all I would need is half of that in
Yeah.
one of each pair, and my pack would be like 50 or 60 pounds. And I wouldn't be able to hike as far, 20 miles. That would be out of the question.
Yeah.
I remember carrying a 60-pound ruck in prior service Army, and we would go on these 20-mile hikes, but we didn't have a choice, and we had
yeah.
our full gear and our M16 in our hand too, and it goes back, and that's giving me freaking mad flashbacks right now. But yeah, lighter, go longer
Mhm.
if you're
Yeah.
going short. So, but yeah, if you're going shorter and maybe for a couple more nights and you're not going that far, maybe it does make sense to pack a little bit more, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And it all comes with experience. Like I always tell people when they're first starting out backpacking, I encourage them to bring everything they want.
Because you figure it out, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
do it
Yeah.
to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you are, and it's all secondary fun in the
Mhm.
end.
Right.
It kind of sucks at the time, but then when you're done, you're like, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you really let them embrace the suck and let them carry their weight,
Embrace the suck.
Yeah.
I love it.
They will learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so you just kind of learn over time what you need.
That makes sense. That totally makes sense. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. And you are opening up my eyes, and I do feel like I'm leaning towards your side a little bit. How are you feeling, Jenny G?
I'm like all for it.
She's like, yeah, you did that really quick. You had her at hello.
We're going backpacking
yeah.
next week.
Yeah,
okay?
let's go.
I
going.
even said that when he first said that you were coming. I was like, is she taking us hiking too? He goes, she's coming to do a podcast. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
We're gonna do a virtual hike.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, we're going to do a virtual hike. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, this,
Yeah.
maybe next time.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
definitely.
sure.
Or I can travel to Oregon.
Yeah, we're going,
Like, I
and
love
then
Oregon.
we'll have you back on, whether here or remote. We have the technology; we can
Yes.
remote you in as well, and we can talk about the amazing hike that we went on. And hopefully, all three of us are on the show, and we didn't lose Shafi to a mountain lion, because that would
Hopefully
be.
we don't
horrible.
sacrifice Shafi to a mountain
I
Or
mean,
about-
wait,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Whoa! Have the tables have turned? Estrogen strikes again.
love it, I love
Yeah,
it.
way to go, ladies! Gang up on Shafi; he can take it.
Hey, I told you from the very beginning, my first comment was, I'm here only to disagree with whatever you say.
I love it. I
And
love that.
she wrote that on our YouTube, and she was like episode 1, and she's like, "Hi, I'm Fern. I'm here to disagree." And I'm like, "Why did you have to say that? Like now I'm gonna like that's so messed up."
Because
love
I just got to do it.
Somebody was trash talking your gear or something like that, and I went on and I stood up for you because you're my friend. I've known you for 20 years, and I was like, "Who talks to people like that and they don't even know them?"
Oh,
It's so funny. I'm getting likes on that. They're like, "Yeah, for
And
real."
I appreciate it. I've had a
Wow.
couple trolls, but mainly it's been a really great community on there.
Yeah, we have trolls as well.
Yeah.
And we get emails, and we have shout out to Mary Beth. We love you. She writes the really good ones. We read them.
yes.
She's the email Hall of Fame right here. Is that we
Oh.
have a stack of
Oh,
emails that she's
yes.
written for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to Mary Beth. She listens to every episode. We love you, girl. She's like, I go on hikes. So she's like, I could have told you all that. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fair. We love you.
Let's go hiking, Mary Beth.
Let's go hiking, Mary Beth. That's a song. I just wrote it. And look, we've had our laughs, and Fern is probably sitting here wondering how I survived childhood. But let's bring it back home for a second. Fern, we make fun of the terror because honestly, what you were doing takes a level of bravery that most of us can't wrap our heads around. And we joke about the fear, but the reason we call it terrifying is because nature is powerful. We respect it so much, it scares us. And Fern, the fact that you're brave enough to tackle the Pacific Crest Trail, I said it right.
Said it right.
Good
Yeah.
job.
That's inspiring because you're facing the terror that we're too scared to handle. We love the wild. We just love it from the car. And I just want to tell you, that us here at Shafi Unpop are so proud of you, and we will be rooting for you on as you embark on these amazing journeys.
Oh, well,
Yes.
thank you guys. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I would like to add, there is no wrong way of appreciating nature, whether that's getting on the trail, going to a national park, seeing it from your car, seeing it
Yeah.
on YouTube. There's no wrong way to appreciate it.
Yeah. And we're going to give you a chance to plug your YouTube, and so and your IG, and plug your socials here in a little bit. But I got to ask, because this all reminds me, hey, are you tired of being the slowest member of your hiking group? They're laughing because they're like, is this a product of the week segue?
It is.
Oh,
It-
Lord.
Does it sound like I'm doing a product of the week segue?
Yes.
Yeah. So you are tired of being the slowest member of your hiking group. Does the sound of a snapping twig make you question every life choice you've ever made? Then you need Bear Be Gone, the spicy mist of survival. I used to be afraid of the deep, dark woods, but now with one spray of Bear Be Gone, I'm the scariest thing on the trail. It's like a habanero party, and the bear is the only guest. Our patented formula is 40% hotter than a ghost pepper and 100% more effective than playing dead. Whether it's a grizzly bear, a black bear, or just a very aggressive raccoon named Steve, one blast of Bear Be Gone sends them packing. Adios, Steve. Bye. Warning, do not use it as a seasoning. Do not spray upwind. If you spray yourself, the bear will simply find you pre-marinated. Get yours today, because terrifying is just a state of mind, and your life is worth more than yesterday's lunch. And Fern, you mentioned you do have bear spray.
Yes.
Where does one procure bear spray?
Well, I'm kind of a sucker for REI, so
Yeah,
enough,
I
fair
love
enough.
it, Yeah. They're at RA's, they're actually pretty cool. So they have a section where people return product, and most of it's not even used, but you can get it at a discounted rate. Like I got a $300 backpack for like $100.
that's
Oh,
the first
nice.
place I go is the,
Yeah.
the resupply.
You go to the
Yeah.
resupply.
Not sponsored.
Fair,
Yeah.
yeah, they are not a sponsor. If they would
Yeah.
like to be,
Hey, REI, hit me up.
yeah.
Yes.
Hey, REI, do you want to get kicked off Twitter with us? Let me show you how. You guys want to go get kicked out of an Applebee's after this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're going to show
I
you
love
how.
that.
That is hilarious. I would feel like, how do you know getting resupplied bear spray? Is that the right
I don't
choice?
do bear spray. No,
Oh, okay.
no,
I was going
no,
to say,
no,
like,
no.
you show up and you're like, hey, they're like, there might be a shot left in it, but it's
Yeah.
$20.
Actually,
So,
I tried to resell my small bear can to them, and they wouldn't even take that back because of it. Something might be wrong. So
Got it.
Oh,
they-
like the bear can that you hold your food in when you're
yeah,
hiking?
yeah, they wouldn't even take that. So I have two now.
Oh, you have two?
awesome.
Those are expensive.
They
Yeah.
are.
Jenny G.
I was going to say, I might have to see you after the show.
Yeah, we're going to have to. And
We're
this
gonna
is.
have to go in the alleyway.
This is a really, why in the alleyway? We
I
could
don't
just
know.
do it in
I
the
don't
living
know.
room.
I
You
don't-
could just make
That's where the good conversation.
I was going to say, that's where the good stuff is sold cheap.
just out there. Fern's holding Dustin, just petting him. Like, tell me about what you're willing to pay here. This is actually a really good segue to kick it over to our lovely co-host Jenny G in Jenny's Corner. As you can see, we got you up and running.
And I
So-
love it over here. It's open.
We kicked you. Well, here's what I found out. Okay, we've done a lot of things. We put up the acoustic panels to avoid some of the echoing, as my neighbor was out there mowing his lawn. Hopefully the listeners didn't hear that as much. We took Jenny G away from the closet we had her in, and we put her back out here on the floor. So
Yeah.
when we're looking over there, we're looking at Jenny G in
Yeah.
Jenny's Corner. We set Jenny G up with her own little camera. We got her own little ring light. I crudely pasted her Jenny's Corner
love
logo
it.
on the wall.
I love it.
And now she gets her own little segment.
Yes.
So we're going to kick it over to Jenny G for the Jenny's Corner. Take it away.
I was just curious to know, like, are you afraid of heights?
Yes, I am. It is
Hold on, I
something-
got to hit the. What?
I know. No, it's something that I've been trying to overcome for quite a while and push myself to try and get over.
Yeah.
Per se. But yeah, I've taken bouldering lessons at the climbing gym. I try and just push myself a little bit further on the edges and the ridges.
So do you get like, because I get like dizzy, like I almost feel like I'm just gonna like topple over and fall over.
Like
yeah,
a vertigo.
Sometimes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I just like every time.
Sometimes
Yeah.
the vertigo happens, and that's when I have to take a little step back.
So what has been your favorite hike so far?
Oh Lord, that's a good question.
She's got the
Ooh,
heavy
I
hitters
know,
in
I-
Jenny's corner, I'll tell you.
I wasn't ready for that one.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say up by Leavenworth, there's this area called the Enchantments.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I've wanted to do that one.
Oh, it's gorgeous. So when I was living in Oklahoma, my friend got a permit for Kolchak Lake, which is very hard to get. You have to apply for a lottery just to try and get the permit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was his first time ever applying. He got it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm coming
Let's
back.
go,
I'm
right.
coming back for a visit. We're going." It was right around my birthday, so that was amazing, and it actually was the catalyst for me moving back to Oregon
Oh,
or back to the
nice.
Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
You know, it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen, and I felt so silly for willingly leaving. You
Yeah.
know, and it was both challenging physically because I went up Asgard Pass, and that
Yeah.
was a huge challenge. I got to see my first mountain goat in the wild. Everything was picture
awesome.
perfect.
That's what I want to see. I still have
Oh.
not seen one in the
A
wild.
mountain
That's-
goat?
Yeah,
Yes.
I still have
His
not.
name is
It
Billy.
was-
I wanna see
everything
one.
was picture
Billy goat?
perfect, and it was the reason I moved back. So I'm gonna have to say Kolchak Lake last year was one of my favorites.
I love that. I love that.
That's amazing. And so I have a question about this permitting. Is this to just preserve the area? What's
So a lot of the really popular and major hiking areas, such as the Enchantments and the Wonderland Trail
Okay.
on Rainier,
Mhm.
they are so heavily used that they were getting degraded, and they were just being abused. So
right?
yeah,
and
they
I think
started
after
that.
COVID, I think hiking really ramped up for a lot of people.
Yeah, and then there wasn't as many rangers and people to help.
Yeah.
Right.
So they implemented this lottery system where you
Right.
have to apply to the lottery to even try and get the permit.
Wow.
Yeah, so it kind of sucks because like I've applied for the enchantments for about 5 years in a row now, and
Yeah.
I've never got it. And my friend Yancey, that was his first time ever applying, and he got
Well, it's
it.
a lottery.
Oh,
so
it's a
yeah,
lottery,
it's just
so
yeah.
that's
So it kind of
chance.
sucks
They
because
put
it's
your name on a
like-
ball and then they
Are you allowed to
rotate the
give
ball.
away your lottery? Like if
No,
oh, so
No.
if
It's
you, like, that-
non-transferable?
Oh, it's
No.
not. Okay.
you can't sell
Oh.
it. You can't pass the name on.
Do you have it for a
Oh.
lifetime?
No, it's
Oh,
just,
just
it's
for
for,
the
a
year?
specific time.
Oh.
Yeah.
So is it like for you in a specific group? Like so, if you apply for it, you can bring whoever you want.
You can apply for how many people you want to go.
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay,
we
okay.
applied for 3, thinking that our other friend was going to join us,
Right.
and then it ended up being just us 2.
Right.
So we could have very easily been like, does somebody else want to go?
Yeah.
So you can apply for, I believe it's up to 12 people, but the more people you are putting on your permit, the less of a chance that you're
That you're
going to
gonna
get
get it?
Yeah, it's just like,
Yeah.
you might as well just have them all go apply
yeah.
individually.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So yeah, it's just a whole game. Unfortunately, it has come to that because of the abuse of nature
Right.
and trails and
Yeah.
people pooping where they're not supposed to and littering everywhere. So
Yeah.
She has a poop kit in her bag. Watch the episode where she unpacks it. She takes
I
about
did not
28
even-
minutes. And
I
she,
didn't even know that was a thing.
yeah. Do you want to tell us about your poop kit?
I'll happily. I've got it in. Have it in the other room. I love my poop kit.
I love that.
Go on.
So it's very important to be as responsible as you can in nature.
Right.
So if there's no toilets available,
Right.
there is strategies involved. There's a very lightweight little trowel that I have,
Okay.
and it's exactly the height that you need to put it in the ground to bury your stuff. I
See,
think
that's
it's
what I was
6
going to say. I thought you
inches.
just bury it.
Yeah, you have
Right.
to put it down a certain 6 inches.
Oh, there's like
Yeah,
oh,
and so it
oh.
helps get all the rocks and everything in there. And I have menstruation supplies. I have toilet paper. I have a Kula cloth, which is for people who don't get to shake after they pee.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
an antibacterial cloth that is pretty new, I think, as far as technology. And it's to wipe.
Yeah, that's
after
super.
And it's
that.
biodegradable.
Yeah.
And all of
No,
that?
no, it's
Oh, not.
reusable.
Oh, it's reusable.
Mhm.
Got it.
It
Got it.
doesn't. It's antibacterial.
Oh, antimicrobial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really
so
cool.
it
It
you can
doesn't-
just wash it
Right.
like in my boiling water
Yeah.
every other day and good to go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's a genius. Oh,
Yeah, that's really cool.
Got a little bit of toilet paper, and I've been thinking really heavily about adding. They have little backpacking bidets.
oh, yeah. Like a little,
Yes.
little
I like
squirty.
Yes, and it looks a lot like this.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
But
That's
it's,
actually
like,
what
has
that
a
is. Have you been
ledge.
drinking that? No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
I'm just. That's what it is. I'm gonna hit
I
the
love it.
buddy. Yeah,
that's-
Shafi with the puns.
That's something I've been mulling over because on the PCT, toilet paper is not always available.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if I can use a way to wash without having to use toilet paper and also
Yeah.
not adding anything into the environment that I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
need to, I think that's the best way. So it's something I've been
Yeah.
thinking about.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's good
Because
stuff.
in my mind, I would just think that whatever toilet paper, whatever, you just put in a plastic bag and take it with you. Like,
Yeah,
and
in
I just
some
figure you
places,
just,
yeah. A lot of places,
bury and-
yeah, you can bury it, but a lot of places they're like, you have to pack it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking like a year ago we were just messaging you and I was like, when you get up to the Washington part, I'm gonna come see you. And I was like, what can I bring her that would just make her day? And I was gonna bring you a Costco chicken.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about that.
Oh,
'Cause at that point you were like, that would be perfect.
Just
Yeah.
thinking about the hiker hunger and having an entire Costco chicken and
Yeah.
just like,
and I just bring her and I show up.
Meal,
Isn't that great?
Like real food.
yes,
I'm-
real food.
Yeah.
I think about things like that. I'm like, what would she absolutely want and
Yeah.
need? A whole Costco chicken.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just I'm showing up and I'm like, here
I
you
love
go,
that.
special
That's
delivery.
amazing.
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats. I love it.
Costco
trip.
chicken.
Yeah.
Are they still $5? I'll give you $5.
I don't know. It's on the house. And if anybody wants to contribute to her PCT fund,
Yes.
reach out to the show and we'll let you know. You can send us money. We'll make sure it gets to her 100% of it for sure.
I
Yeah.
appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, look, that's our show. So this week, we want to thank our lovely guest, Fern, and our co-host, Jenny G. Make sure you stick around after the theme song for the People Are Talking segment. People Are Talking.
Unpopular opinion, that's the name of the show. Hosted by Shafi and some pals that he knows. We'll have a heart-to-heart, so tune in and subscribe. It's unpopular opinion and a hell of a vibe. Love it or dislike it, it's all just the same. Because unpopular opinion is there in the name.
Well, people are talking about people. I didn't hit the auto tune. I forgot. I'll get it next week. All right. We've had our fun. We've talked about lions, tigers, and bears. Oh, my. We've talked about the terror of the woods. And Fern's probably realized that I'm a really big baby when it comes to a steep incline. But as we wrap up, let's talk about what the people are saying lately. Because honestly, the most terrifying thing isn't a bear or a cliff. The most terrifying thing is that we've become a society glued to our glowing rectangles. We spend all day scrolling through other people's lives on our devices while our own health sits on the sidelines. We're watching Fern's YouTube videos, which are amazing. Don't get me wrong, but we're doing it from a recliner with a bag of chips. The unpopular opinion today was that hiking is scary, but here's the real talk. Heart disease is scarier. Stagnation is scarier. Never seeing the sun because you're too busy replying to an email is scarier. Fern, you're out there reclaiming your health and your spirit. And for the rest of us pals listening, maybe you don't need to hike the whole Pacific Crest Trail today. Maybe you just need to put the phone on the charger, step out the front door, and walk until you can't hear your notifications anymore. Your body was built to move. Your heart was built to pump. So let's do it with love. Love for ourselves and love for the life that we've been given. Put down the device, pick up your feet, and Fern will be right there with you, at least in spirit and definitely through the screen when we check in on your progress. And you can follow Fern at...
You can follow me at Fern in the Wild on Instagram and YouTube.
Fern in the Wild.
Fern in the wild.
Fern in the Wild. Come on down, we care. You better bring a Costco chicken when you come and see Fern in the Wild.
Please.
Yeah, it's
I
just
love
a
that.
bunch of Costco
I'm just
chickens.
gonna have an abundance of Costco
Just-
chicken.
They're going to be like, oh, I know you. You're Fern in the Wild. Hey, you got a chicken?
Hey, you got that chicken?
Yeah, I just ate it. You always keep some bones on
Pull a
you.
leg out of my
Just,
pocket.
I
yeah.
love that.
You mean this chicken?
Here you go.
Yeah, and it's like this chicken.
I love that.
You have that sound effect as well. Oh, that's great. I love it. Well, you can also follow us at Shafi Unpop on Instagram and email us at shafiunpop@gmail.com. Stay active, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay unpopular. We love you guys. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.